the weather down there? Are you good?
Today is actually really rainy. It's the first day that it's been kind of not sunny in like the last like 3 weeks. So yeah, today's a kind of an indoor day, rainy, about 74 degrees. But compared to the rest of the nation, I'll take it any day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm.
All right. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining me, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here. And Self-Love Sundays is for the purpose of grounding and really applying our alchemical practices and the training of the 0 point every moment of your day. So the intention of this is to start your week really strong with practices and hopefully answering some questions to assist you wherever you guys are having issues or and help yourself there. I'm going to mute everyone. There you go. All right. So before we begin, as in every week, we're going to start by opening questions. So I do have a list of questions that I received through the week, people that are asking. So let's start by opening. Who would like to ask a question? Turn up my volume. How are you guys hearing me? You guys hearing me okay? You good? Okay. Who was it that said that? Let's see. Butch. Oh, it's better? Okay, great. Thank you.
The audio is excellent, actually.
Nice. Okay, questions. Where should we begin today?
There is so many people, on YouTube, every on the social media. Is it a way to like discern which one to listen or watch? Or I mean, I have a general feeling. I go by feeling, but you have maybe a suggestion to who to listen to? I bump into Elena Den, a bunch of other people, on Portal to Ascension. Mainly, I'm around Portal to Ascension and all the groups that are associated, including you. By the way, that presentation was fantastic.
Oh,
And last Sunday was fantastic because I'm sitting in the Russian pyramid.
oh wow,
So
beautiful. I
that
have one of
helped
those
me
too.
with the meditation, actually.
Yeah.
I built it a while back, but actually this first time I used it for the self-love Sunday. That helped a lot with the
Great.
meditation. Sure. So anyway, I'll myself now. So I will hear your last answer.
I love that. Okay, well, thank you for that question. So, here's my take on this. And we're in an age we have to look at the bigger picture. I always ask you to look at the bigger picture, not just a small picture, because we're in a time where we are getting overloaded with information, and not just information that's accessible to you through the internet, but also interdimensionally. If you take the time to quiet your mind and open up, you're also going to have access to a lot. So, in my opinion, I strongly suggest for a moment, try to go inside. Try not to look outside for information. And um, because here's why: there isn't one person that will be able to give you all the information you know. And personally, what I found through my journey is that I was able to become a fountain of all the answers that I had for myself through my meditation. I didn't have to read a book or listen to other people. We have an infinite fountain of knowledge and wisdom available to us if we quiet the mind and connect. So I'm going to be, since we're talking about 0 point, an advocate of trying not, in fact, to go external, but to go internal. I think that this is going to be how to build a strong foundation for the next few years, which information will get very kind of, let's say, the duality will really present itself in information in the next couple years, in which we're going to be kind of made to make a choice of what side we're on. And we want to pull away from that into a state of neutrality and in a place where we discern our truth as it comes in. So I don't have any specific names other than to tell you to, if you do look externally, look for things that can help strengthen your practice, strengthen your connection, and strengthen your discernment. this is where I would advise to put the attention and focus, especially in these next couple of years, because things are going to be changing really quickly for next year. So we want to open that channel and strengthen that channel. Okay. So that's my take. I hope that's okay.
That's what happened this week. Actually, two people manifested that with meditations actually, and one of them was with the posture projection, which was phenomenal.
Oh,
I loved it, you know, and so was the other meditation. You know, it was incredible.
wow, that's
I
great. So
so
yeah,
I every night, you know, with both of them. Actually,
wow. Amazing. Yeah. And so find those tools, find tools to help you find your truth and your ability to tune into your own pure information. Because,
almost by yeah, like manifested. Plus, you know, I'm also with the Kriya Yoga meditations, you know. So yeah,
okay, okay, good. Well, remember that we are exploring our DNA. We are exploring because the DNA is the blueprint of information that allows us to access the field, and the field is interconnected to the all. So we have access to that. So as we meditate, we begin to uncover the layers of programming in order to access that core source available information. Yeah, so thank you so much for that. Nick Rose says tips for staying out of separation consciousness when dealing with triggering family dynamics. Yes, this is often the most difficult and challenging, especially because family, we are so deeply interconnected, and the layers of even perception between family members can be very strongly created and connected to survival mechanisms, chemicals in the body that are triggered through experiences and trauma. So to break, my first suggestion is to break any perceptions that you currently have about any family member and come into that, again, neutral point where you can begin to uncover your ability to discern what you need first, connect with first, healing the traumatic experiences. And it's very simple, just taking a look at what triggers you in your dynamics. Write them down, make a list, and begin to work with the list of triggers, taking a look at where we got those programs, why we have these emotional reactions, how it's affecting us. Is it contractive or expansive? And from there, work inside out. This will help you understand the dynamics between the family. And oftentimes you will discover many things, often many truths that have been very difficult to see, not only about yourself, but the other. Understanding how you also play a role in those dynamics is essential in order for breaking patterns. Okay. So coming into absolute truths with these dynamics is important for your healing process and in order to understand your emotional and reaction system. Okay, that whole fight or flight when we are with family dynamics that are difficult. So the second part is non-judgment, right? So once you begin to understand what are the things that trigger you and begin to do the work, taking accountability for our participation in those triggering dynamics, understand what you need in order to come into a state of non-judgment. Observation without judgment, don't apply meaning, things that people do, say, or behave. What do we need in order not to come into a state of non-judgment? So that's actually something that I want to talk about today because I have a lot of questions about how do we embody the 0 point? What does it mean? How do we actually apply it? And that's what we're going to do in today's practice. So it's a perfect question. On average, how often and how long do you meditate, go inward? So personally for me, I have at least minimum 2 hours a day in the morning and night. But remember that I'm working with clients pretty much all day long. So I'm in a constant meditative state. And the thing is that meditation is not just a time that you allocate. We want to meditate at all times. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. What does it mean to embody the 0 point? All the time, not just when you're in a state of silent meditation. Okay. All right. So let me come over here to some questions in the chat. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you so much. Christina, welcome. Hi, Geraldine. I have a question. I often see a wheel during my meditation. Do you have any idea what that might be? Well, it really just depends. First, where that wheel is located and what it's doing. And if you notice what you do before you visualize the wheel, Oftentimes in meditation, we discover blockages, symbols. It can be shapes, it can be objects that appear in our energetic space that are a way for our brain to process information. Okay, this image, this picture, we call them pictures, can be a random object, but actually it has a very profound vibrational information that is interconnected to your nervous system and memories that are stored within the field. So when we tune into these pictures, take a moment to, with time, with your intuition, especially when you're in reading state, to connect with these pictures and tune in to what is being informed through that. Feel into it. Oftentimes, as soon as you connect with it, you'll begin to feel emotions, triggers, or parts of the body will contract or expand. Pay attention to all of that. And this is necessary for all of us to learn how to navigate our own field, to understand how to translate what we are expressing in our body. So if this picture is something that needs to be released, or it represents a block or a limiting belief system, you can simply dissolve it. And you can imagine erasing it, dissolving it, whatever feels real to you out of your space. This is a really powerful way, as I mentioned in other classes, to begin to neutralize your energetic body. This is one of the two powerful ways to come into the 0 point. So that's one thing that you can do. Wheels, aside from that, maybe you're finding a chakra. It really just depends. So, explore, take a look at it, dive in, connect with your intuition, and read. So good to see you, Marilena. Grace, so great to see you. Welcome, welcome. What's the difference between RH and RH plus and negative blood type factors? RH is the recess, plus or negative. What do you mean? Do you mean in ET contact or just the blood type? Let me know. All right, guys. So let's dive into our question. We also have a question from Faith. I have been doing your meditations for 3 years now, and I have also made significant changes to my diet. To my diet. I can feel and sense that things have shifted for me. I have received downloads and I am more grounded. However, I still have a sense that there is an intuitive block. I'm not sure if it's something within me or an energy that is attached, causing the blockage. How can I get to the root of this? Okay, so the primary thing is the block, intuitive block, right? Okay, so to tune into our intuition, first, take the time to experiment with your intuition. Okay. And I'll just share with you how in my journey I utilized discernment to find that intuitive voice. We want to do several practices to train ourselves to connect with the observer, the one that is observing, because the observer, the non-judgmental observer, is the one that can see truth. And the one that can see truth is not interfered or influenced by fears or any emotions that might pull it away from what it's truly experiencing. Okay. And in order to see some version of truth, because again, there's many ways to perceive things. We have many layers to us of programming, conditioning, perceptions, fears, emotions that filter our ability to see truth. So my suggestion is to begin to get to know yourself so well that you discover what are your filters of perception. Where are your belief systems that you keep coming back to that are difficult to break? Fears, okay? Take a look at the fears, limiting beliefs. And as you begin to observe these, you can go from those limiting beliefs into something more expansive. The question is, what would be more expansive than this limiting belief? And what would I need in order to be able to embody that kind of belief? Okay, so, and that will take you through a process of learning about your needs, learning about your programming, and learning how to transmute. That's how you learn how to transmute from a lower thought form into a higher. Okay, so that's an entire educational process that you can utilize to kind of transform some of these thoughts. So as you do this practice, the next step, you're going to feel that it's a lot easier to come into a non-judgmental observer. It is here in this place that you can begin to access a clear discernment. Okay. And it takes practice because this is why I invite you to utilize intuition at all times, even if it's, what do I do next? Should I have lunch? Should I write my book? What's your schedule like? Simple things. What should I eat for lunch? Should it be this or that? And intuit, utilize your body as a tool for discernment, and you will learn so much about you. You will learn about the systems of your body that desire things, why they desire things, chemical impulses, the biome that might be unhealthy sometimes, because the way that we make decisions are many parts of our system are making the decisions. The survival mechanism of the body is deeply programmed in the nervous system, and it's also deeply programmed and connected with the biome. Imagine that. So if we have a lot of parasites and a lot of, issues with our digestive system, or cravings for sugars, things like this, believe it or not, this literally creates triggers in the body that pull you away from what you need in order to feed the survival of these parasites in the body. Okay, and we have this kind of parasitic mechanism both physically and interdimensionally. So if you have lots of parasites in the belly, you need to do a sugar detox, something like this, to help your body come back to that again, that observer, okay, that's not influenced by something. Now, parasitic interference in the field is an accumulation of traumatic experiences that haven't been addressed, fear, and the fear of the unknown, essentially. Okay. So anytime we haven't resolved emotions, it manifests into a blockage in the field energetically, and it keeps becoming a reference point. And they can be very difficult to break if we don't understand that process of transmutation. Okay. So this is how we begin to activate the intuitive blocks. A simple way to do that is also clearing the energetic field, as I mentioned. So on a daily basis, maintain the 13 layers of your body clear, open, okay? Because a clear mind, a clear space, energetic space, is a reflection of a clear mind. And it even has to do with your environment. Is your home clean? If you have a lot of clutter in your home, if you're accumulating lots of stuff in your space, it's very hard for people to come into their intuitive gifts, especially when they're new to that. Okay. Because objects contain energy, life force, right? So if there isn't any flow of life force in in the house that you live, remember we live in these most of us live in, rectangular square rooms, and corners trap life force in a way that don't allow natural flow of your own field. So it interferes in the ability for you. That's why when you go into nature, you're able to kind of align with natural patterns of earth. And this natural expression allows you to tune into this intuitive connection. Okay, easier. So those of you that are connected with nature tend to have easier access to intuition. So those are just a couple tools that you can use. Okay. All right, my love. So let's talk a little bit about, coming into the 0 point. Okay. What does it mean to embody the 0 point? When we think of coming into that 0 point, it's about coming so fully into the present moment. I mean, we have lives that are programmed to be fast, stressful, busy, and we're also programmed that if we're not doing certain things, taking certain actions, we're failures, or we have certain belief systems around that. All of those little tiny subtle thoughts that are just one example um, are examples of things that program us to pull away from the present moment. Now, being in the present moment is a state of interconnectedness to the all. And what I mean by that is if you bring yourself right now fully into your present moment and begin to feel the richness and fullness of this experience, you're feeling the moment with your entire attention, awareness. The thoughts are, you deliberately silence and still any thoughts in your mind. And you come into a state of observation of your body in this time and space. Okay. So when you come into the observation of your body in this time and space, you begin to tune in to a world that you may not have been aware of before. You begin to notice subtle things, movements, interactions with things in your field. There is so much occurring to us around us, but most of us, we check out. The body is in a dormant state. It's not in a state of awareness. And we are in the mind processing thoughts, usually imagining things that we've seen, things that we've heard, where our mind is in the past, in the future. So this is distracting you from experiencing fully a present moment. Now, in the present moment is the power of co-creation of man, not just in all areas, biophysically, biochemically, bioelectrically. Because when the human brings its attention into the body completely and it begins to train itself to have this 360-degree view of itself from inside out, observation, it begins to learn truths about itself that have been suppressed for a long time. You have access to memories and emotions that oftentimes we have been trying to suppress, neglect, or oftentimes run away from. And all of that is going to come up for you the more you sit in that stillness. This is why meditation, and I'm talking about active meditation now. This is the meditation that we do throughout our entire day, not when you're sitting down with your eyes closed. This is me and you here right now, right? So that active meditation of observation here fully in the present moment, your entire body, your toes, your knees, your legs, your back, your solar plexus are experiencing and aware of what is occurring in this space. You're not applying meaning, you're not judging, you're observing, okay? So that is the first step. Now, when we come into this 0 point of observation, your mind should be completely clear. There's no thoughts because there's no judgment and no meaning being applied. That is where you begin to move the centers of your body energetically, okay? With time, with practice, you train every single moment of your day coming fully into the present like this, okay? What begins to happen is that you tune in to this emptiness, what we perceive as emptiness because we're so used to movement, excitement, entertainment. We're highly addicted to our cell phones. We're constantly waiting for that next chemical hit by looking at something exciting, right, on a phone or listening to something. These are distractions that really paralyze and harm our multidimensional access. Because the more that you constantly stimulate and pull away from that center observer, the harder it is for you to understand discernment and even have access to any sort of truth. Okay. So this is really important. And if it's one powerful practice that changed my life completely, it's this one, right? So those of you that have studied meditation in Eastern arts like Vipassana, that would be a good way to train yourself in meditation first to calm the nervous system. Because what's going to be fighting back for those of you that don't have a set meditation practice is that your nervous system, your anxiety, your survival, your resistance, and trauma will begin to retaliate. It's going to really activate. And we need to work through those sensations to train the body to feel safe in a state of observation. That's the entryway into that 0 point. Coming into observation, minute after minute, hour after hour, day after day, begins to grow the ability to access what we know as that bliss state, okay? And that bliss state emerges from that stillness, from that nothingness. So, and why? There's 20 million explanations that we can give you for that. But the body has the ability in that 0 point to begin to move fluidly, bioelectrically, bioenergetically. We literally are a vortex. We are the way that life force is moving through the body is blocked by most of our energetic attention being depleted in many different ways. So energy cannot move through the body in a way that's fluid when we're constantly distracted. But in the 0 point, you bring your attention into this point of existence and it awakens your organism. You have awakened, and your organism is it is a hologram of DNA, okay, a projection of your DNA that creates this hologram, which is a fractal of infinite consciousness. So when you bring your attention into that point, you are igniting the awareness of yourself. And that's the first step. When you ignite the awareness of yourself, you have access to the awareness of more selves. Okay. And we begin the journey of accessing ourselves in many dimensions. Okay. Like when we go into dream state, the more that you practice this observer during the waking state, the time that you go to sleep, you're going to begin to have more lucid dreams. You're going to begin to become aware of yourself in dream state. And that's where the fun kind of begins, okay? Because you begin to access and activate your DNA multidimensionally through these experiences. And the key is to utilize this as an alchemist, as this energy light worker that you are, to utilize this valuable tool to begin to deprogram traumas, limiting beliefs in that 0 point from a place of non-judgment. Super powerful, because we don't become entangled with the information that we see. We don't get identified with the things that come up. And that is the power, because remember that this life is just one life packed with experiences that are essential to your learning, okay, to the learning process of your soul in this lifetime. So we want to understand our experiences. There is not a single experience in your lifetime that isn't meaningful to your learning process. Not a single one. So maybe yesterday, if you were on auto drive for the majority of the day, if you're not aware of what happened during those moments, you're missing out on a lot of information that is essential to the learning of yourself and to your soul, right? Because your soul is collecting information for the greater soul, which is learning. We are learning fractals of learning. So we have to take a look at every moment of our day, bring ourselves into that present moment. And this is how we begin to generate that 0 point, allowing life force to move fluidly through the body. And what does it mean when life force moves through fluidly? It means that it activates the way that the flow of vortex, the vortex is a result of the way of life force is moving through us. Okay, so the faster that your vortex spins, it means the more life force you're actually moving through your body. And the way that life force moves through us is essentially in a braiding-like function that creates parts of the body that are kind of self-organized by vibrational frequency from lowest to highest, right? We have the lower center and upper centers of power, centers of life force, and then we go into the higher bodies, okay? It's important for you to become aware of all 3 centers activate and work with the 3 centers of your body. The lower dantian, or the lower power center of the body, being the center that masters the physical, the emotional, your everyday experiences in the physical, all of your life experiences that you have important learning from, is that you begin to master and understand from the lower. And as you do that, it completely changes who you are in every now moment. Okay, so the next part is the center of love, the heart, okay, the intuition, the center of power. When you start dominating the lower, you begin to generate and cultivate this empowerment in the physical. And that empowerment in the physical allows you to begin to move life force fluidly. The next point is the heart, the throat, and the third eye, right? So these second parts are the intuitive abilities which are activated by, from which emerges the connection to the whole through the heart, the coherence. When we tune into coherence, when we become one, we begin to taste what it means to become one with everyone. Just us meditating in this room, we're actually becoming one because we're merging with these ideas, thoughts into one vibrational frequency. And we're interconnected through that. So, literally, this allows us to begin to connect to the next network, which is now the higher network, right? We have the earth, the lower body, and then we become to the higher faculties of the physical body. And then next would be the interconnection to the network of the earth in which we live. Okay, so this is how it is. It's like a sphere within spheres with us, expressions of our chakras. And as we activate these layers, we become interconnected with the greater whole. So as we activate the higher faculties, we have the ability to tune in to not just our ancestral history, which is the higher information of our DNA, right? But we begin to connect to the whole earth, all of you brothers and sisters around the world that are holding vital information of repetitive programs, experiences that we are interconnectedly experiencing. So this is how, we work with information in the body in order to allow life force to move, to activate the movements of the body. And essentially, as we activate more parts of our body through higher vibrational frequencies, we create different geometric shapes with our alignment of vibrational frequency. We're constantly moving in and out of different dimensions. Every single field of our body is a dimensional plane, which is a projection of our DNA and the data which is there. And it is encoded within us. So the 0 point, coming back to that, is really the practice of, let's say, you become like an ascended master, which means that you are activating the higher abilities of man. And this is the entryway. From here, you enter into the next level of navigation in the non-physical, which is also incredibly essential to your work. But this is where we want to start. So that being said, I'm going to check our chat, see if we have any questions here. Anybody have any questions from the group that's here? Ami says, what is your perspective on spending more time alone and being disinterested in connecting with others during this journey of becoming more conscious? I think that it's important for us to understand ourselves deeply first. And it's good to do that work, but we are working towards unity consciousness, but we don't really know what that means until you know yourself. So my advice is to know yourself deeply, in order for you to begin to in order for any relationship external to you to be something that is productive for you. Meaning that when we know ourselves very deeply, our relationships can be handled in a way of complete authenticity and truth from your end. Doesn't mean the other people will change or anyone else will ever change around you, but the quality of the relationship with yourself changes the relationship with the world around you. So I think naturally we connect with those that are in alignment, and with those that have gifts of lessons, learnings, and experiences that we require for our journey. So yeah, I would just always take it back to know yourself, and that knowing of the self allows for compassion and a more neutral and authentic way to interact with others. And sometimes that's not always received as well, just because not everyone is on the same wavelength. So, that's part of the practice. It's wonderful to bring yourself into these experiences with others when you're on this practice to begin to understand, what it means to interact. That's where the real work comes in. Can you keep your neutral uh, self when you're interacting with others? Okay, so it's a wonderful exercise for you. Thank you so much, guys. I've seen shapes in altered states spinning vortices, for nose to nose rotating. Is this a fragment or certain area in the field of the matrix? Mark, I'm not sure what you mean by matrix. Did you see these shapes in your body or did you see them outside of you? Go ahead and let me know so I can help answer that question. Is meditation the guidance? Butch, can you clarify that question for me? Where is Butch? Did we lose him? Hmm. All right. All right, everybody. So let's get into our meditation state and let's, oh, here he is. I'm sorry, I forgot what it was in regards to. I'm sorry, I forgot what it was. Oh, okay. No problem, Butch. Sorry. If you remember, just put it right back in the chat. All right, my love. So let's do it. Let's actually do what we talk about and let's get into that 0 point and prepare ourselves for this beautiful week. I want you all to get really nice and comfortable. Take a nice deep breath. With every breath you take, allowing yourself to come more into that stillness. Breathing deeply down into the base of the spine. We're just going to start there. And I want you guys to focus on that breath going down into the base of the spine. Focusing fully on the rhythm that begins to form with every breath you take. The mind becomes clear and light. The focus now comes fully into the body. Taking your attention and bringing all of your awareness to your toes, waking up this part of our body. Our body is not just a physical vessel that navigates the physical realm. It's the translation of many dimensions and a tool of translation of vibrational frequencies that we're constantly swimming through, moving around in fields. So as you connect into the toes, into the feet, the ankles, bring your awareness to those memory banks, because encoded within every part of the body is memories, emotions, sensations, and information. And we're just going to awaken these parts, coming into observation. Going up into the ankles, speaking to every cell in the body to wake up consciousness, to become aware of itself. Imagine the thousands and thousands of cells flowing through the inside of your body, each one knowing exactly what to do, going up into your shins and your calves. But when we bring awareness to it, it's a completely different level of existing. Going up into the knees. Wake up this part of your field. When you wake up your body, you're waking up an entire network of information within the field. Going up into the thighs. Remembering to breathe into the solar plexus. Going up into the hips, to the pelvic bones, into the organs. Taking your attention down to the perineum. Activating the chakra in the perineum. Just visualize clearing, flushing out any stagnant energy in the perineum. And as you do that, you're going to feel it through the inseam of your thighs, going all the way down to the very center of your feet, the base of your feet, activating the chakras at the base of the feet. Spinning those chakras, clearing and releasing any stagnant energy there. For those of you that sit a lot or work in offices, don't get a lot of physical movement, this is really important. Observe the subtleties of the rest of your body responding as you make these little minor shifts. Very important. So that you get to know the networks of energy through your body. Go up into the hips now. We have chakras in the hips, like right inside of the bone that connects from the pelvic to the thigh. Go ahead and activate that chakra. There's a lot of emotions that get stored here in the body. So go ahead and spin those two chakras, right and left, feminine and masculine, clearing out any stagnation, any suppression. So you're going to begin to clear out the meridians that go all the way up into the chest, the lungs. Just allow yourself to clear them. All the way up into the shoulders. Go ahead and go into the organs now, into the large intestine, small intestine, sexual organs, spleen, pancreas, kidneys. Wake up your awareness in these parts of your organs. As they become aware, you also become more aware of your body. So just pay attention if the body needs anything, anything needs to heal, anything needs to change. How can we support these organs and their function better? Just observe. Just notice that your attention is both internal in the organs and also the external of your body. As we begin to broaden our attention, our scope of observation, going up into the liver, into the stomach. Noticing if there is any tightness here in the solar plexus, holding on to judgments, fears, observations, releasing the muscles in the solar plexus and the back. Noticing how the mind quiets even further. Okay, go into your spine, from the root of the spine all the way up to the nape of the neck. As you begin to tune in, you wake up the awareness in the spine. This is where the majority of us have the least awareness. And yet it is the most important runway of energy of our body. This is the center runway of life force that nourishes and informs the nervous system and all other systems of the body, physical and non-physical. So bring your attention into the spine. Waking up consciousness in the entire back of your body. Almost as if you are remote viewing your back. And your field that extends behind you. Okay, let's go up into the chest, into the lungs now. Once again, the solar plexus should be calm and expanded, not contracted. No tight muscles. The entire body should be completely relaxed in a state of observation. Go up into the heart. Notice any contraction in the heart, in the chest. Are you breathing fully into the body or just barely breathing at the top? That's survival breathing. Survival breathing is only breathing very shallow breaths. But we're going to pull our mind and our body out of survival into complete awareness and observation. So breathe all the way deeply down, waking up the body. Going up into the shoulders, into the arms, into the palms of the hands. Go ahead and open up the vortex in the hands, the palms of the hands. As you begin to spin and clear these, any kind of programs around resistance, shame, fear, leaving the body. Okay, go up into the neck. Let's connect with every cell in the neck. Waking up consciousness, bringing full awareness to your neck. Connecting with the muscles of the throat. Going up now into the important glands of the body. Connecting now with the endocrine system of your body. All of the major glands that run through the body. Go ahead and connect with those. Waking them up into awareness. Observing from those glands as they begin to rebalance themselves into a state of calm stasis, homeostasis. Breathing. Make sure that your body didn't tense up anywhere. Keep your awareness, your stillness, and that softness throughout the entire body. You are training yourself to go out of a state of survival into a state of creation. Go up into the head now, into the brain, into the face. Notice the muscles in the face. They store a lot of emotional memory. So just gently begin to release the muscles in the face, the jaw, the cheekbones, the nose, the eye sockets. Begin to relax, begin to bring awareness, awaken the body. Opening the seat of intuition, going into the glands here, the pineal gland. Take your full awareness there. Going into the top of the crown of your head, full awareness there. Take your attention to the chakra that is at the very back of your head, the back of your crown. Waking that up. Waking up everything that lies within the subconscious. Notice any anxiety or any contraction that wants to take place in the body as you come into this awareness. If you struggle with trust in yourself, this will be a difficult place to find relaxation and awareness. Okay, let's go ahead and take our attention now into our energetic field. Go ahead and tune into your energetic field. To the first layer. That's the projection of the root chakra. We're going to clear the first layer. In other words, clear the chakra, the root chakra. See if you can sense, feel, know, visualize, hear any kind of tears in your space, stagnation, limiting beliefs that are stored in the root chakra. Clear them out. Go into the second chakra, the second layer of your body. Same thing. Pay close attention. Areas that feel difficult to imagine are the areas that are dormant, that are unconscious. They are reflections of the subconscious mind. So for the majority of us, the back of our body is completely wide open. And that's because we have no awareness of our subconscious self. So wake up that part of your body. As you close it, you bring the awareness there. as you heal your field. You will also, if you're struggling with illnesses, heal your body. Illness cannot exist in a healthy field. Go into the third layer of your body, your third chakra. Clear, heal, repair, restore. Remembering that as you observe what you're discovering in every layer, that your body is completely soft, meaning no tense muscles, no resistance, stillness, and observation. And for some of you, this will be very difficult. Just lovingly bring yourself back. Okay, let's go into the fourth layer, heart chakra. Okay, clearing out any debris, any tears, any openings. What part of your field is wide open and unconscious? Bring your awareness there. For many of you, when you repair the fourth chakra, the heart chakra, it'll be easier for you to love. Some of you that are not acquainted with the feeling of love or that have never felt it, not familiar with it. Just observe. Okay, let's go into the fifth field, the throat chakra. Go ahead and clear it, repair it. Bring your awareness to all parts of this fifth layer of your body that is unconscious. Bring your attention there. Sixth layer. Observe. This is the body of your intuition. How is the health of your intuition? Take a look at your body, 360 degrees. Where is it difficult to see? Where are there openings, tears? Areas that are dark, dim, hidden. Bring your awareness to these parts. As you begin to heal your intuitive tools. You're going to go up to your crown. You're going to activate your crown chakra. This is the center of manifestation. Go ahead and visualize that crown chakra opening, expanding. This is the field in which the non-physical connects and projects into the physical. So this is where you manifest whatever you need: abundance, love, companionship, connection, truth, knowledge, whatever it is that you're searching for, that you wish to experience. I want you to see a color that represents your highest vibrational frequency. What color is that? In this moment, I want you to observe your body. Notice the parts of the body that react as we ask this question. You're going to bring yourself into absolute neutrality, absolute observation, calm, relaxation, and then you will answer the question. As you see the color, go ahead and activate your crown, and you're going to fill your crown with this color as you begin to pull away from the programming of the matrix into a state of creation. Our intention is that we live consciously, co-creating every moment. So go ahead and align that with your career. Sometimes that means changes. Sometimes that means enhancements. Going into relationships, all the people external to us which we interact with. The next is going to be interdimensional navigation. Setting the intention that any time that we are out of body, in dream state, or navigating the astral plane, that we are in alignment with our highest expression. And the body will resonate at that frequency. Okay. Enter it into the area of love, that powerful manifestation life force, health, commanding every cell in the body to come into perfect health, balanced function, in alignment with nature, with the whole. Abundance, creative life force, sexual energy, and money. Fill it in. Currencies of exchange. We're going to align it with our highest expression. The next is truth. Notice your body recalibrating. And finally, your purpose. Okay, so as your crown is shining brilliantly with your creative color, you are actively connecting to the field now. Okay, so we're going to go deeper. I want you to see that cosmic energy of source. Go ahead and identify your source cord, which everyone has. The source of life force that flows through our body from the crown of the head. And you're going to go ahead and visualize that. You're going to solidify the flow of life force through your body by allowing. Go ahead and bring that life force down in through the spine. You can visualize a pillar of white light through your body. The more you work in cultivating this 0 point, the bigger and larger the field of light around you will grow, the stronger. And our goal is to grow our light stronger and stronger. Go ahead and bring that white light down through the body, down through the center core, down through the perineum, into the center of the earth. As you allow that flow of life force moving freely through the body, nourishing intelligently every area that requires, again, coming into consciousness, into awareness. Okay, go ahead and close the root chakra, shrink it down to the size of a dime. We're going to go into reading state. Go ahead and shrink the sacral chakra. Shrink the solar plexus. And expand your heart chakra. Expand your throat chakra. Expand your third eye. I want you to connect with your body and just come into a state of observation. Notice anytime muscles want to contract, thoughts want to come in. Just observe your body in this state of existence in this time and space. Your vision is open now to both physical and non-physical aspects of your body, of your whole self. So I want you to come into absolute observation. That means no judgments, neutrality. You don't need to apply meaning to anything that you observe or experience. Just absolute observation. Focus on becoming very acquainted with this peace, with this calm. Observe the life force moving through your body. For those that can see, sense, feel, know. So observe the rhythm of your breath going all the way down to the base of your spine and out. Very mindfully, very intentionally. Observing. Select a color that represents healing for you, nourishing and restoring. Go ahead and visualize that color. First color that comes up. And I just want you to fill your field and your layers with this color. You're just using the life force, the chi around you. And you're going to absorb it into your body, into your field, nourishing and healing the body. Just observe what it feels like to have that different color around you. Come back to that observation. Once again, making sure that none of the muscles in your body are tense. And you're just observing the experience of existing in this time and space. Go ahead and go down to your root chakra. You're just going to gently open that root chakra back into a balanced state. Go up into the sacral and gently open that chakra back into a balanced state. And going up into the solar plexus, opening it back into a balanced state. Bringing the heart back into a balanced state. The throat and the third eye. And just allowing your crown to be active and full of your color. I want you to see a room in front of you filled with karmic contracts, all the agreements in our life to experience limiting beliefs, traumas, and experiences. We're going to bring light to them. Just visualize dissolving them in that room with your crown chakra. Dissolving so that we can become aware of them and heal them in a way that is compassionate and less suffering. Go ahead and fill that room with your creative color, the color of your crown chakra, your highest vibrational frequency. Setting the intention that we don't want to repeat unconscious patterns, but we are intentionally co-creating. Going up now, activating your 7th chakra, activating your 8th, activating your 9th, activating your 10th, activating the 11th, activating the 12th, and the 13th. And above you is a powerful white light of source. Just allow that again to flow through you all the way down into your physical body, allowing all the way down through the perineum into the center of the earth. As you begin to anchor that into the earth, setting the intention that this earth as an extension of us is also healing, at the same time coming back into that 0 point. For all to awaken their consciousness into a state of observation. As you allow yourself to, for a moment, connect and feel that life force moving through your body, go ahead and bring yourself back into the room and open your eyes. And I want you to watch the reactions of your body as you come back into the physical. I want you to maintain that stillness. I want you to maintain that state of observation, that non-judgmental observation, that softness in the muscles of your body and the awareness of your body. So go ahead and with your eyes open, I want you to feel this existence in this time and space with your whole body. I want you to observe this moment with your whole body. Observe with your toes, with your legs, with your tailbone, the back of your body. Observe this moment with your organs, with your eyes open. Observe it with the front of the body, the back of the body, the head, the face. Observe it with your field. And every time that the body wants to tense up, you're going to breathe into those moments, into those reactions. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Welcome back. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. As always, it's been such a great pleasure to be here with you guys. I'm going to just quickly go into the chat. I want to say hello to everyone that tuned into the chat. Thank you so much for joining us. Bridget, Mark, Brown Dwarf, Jay Zen, Mark Hudson. Just reading the comments here, looking for questions. Thank you so much, Judy, Inga, Kimberly, daughter of Lilith. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much for your wonderful messages, and I'm so happy that you joined me. How about here in the Zoom? Does anybody have any questions, comments, anything that they want to add? Any challenges? How do I do a donation through Zoom? Thank you so much for asking that. If you would like to donate anything, you guys can just do it in my PayPal. I'll put it down here for you. Any other questions? Timothy, go ahead.
That was amazing, that meditation. I enjoyed that very much. Very powerful. Just wanted to ask you, Geraldine, is it a good thing to be able to relate to your other lives? You know, does that help in any way? You know, or does that not really matter? All we want to do is just clear all the energies within us. You know,
I'm not sure I understand. Do you mean like, is it a good idea to watch the other videos, or what do you mean?
No. We've all had other experiences in other lives. You know, is it something that we need to know anything about, really, or I mean,
Your other
do we,
lives?
yes,
Yeah.
do we?
Yes, it's very important to know your other lives, especially if you are interested in experiencing something beyond this realm. We experience everything simultaneously, right? But in this lifetime, in this lifespan, there's an opportunity for this journey that we learn as humans. And it is to find the highest union with the whole. And how we do that is by deprogramming traumas and matrix programming from this life. all of those experiences that you're going to review are going to take you into, once you clear them, past lives, which you've experienced similar things over and over again. The thing is, when we incarnate into this physical realm, we're in the physical body through our ancestral DNA. We're connecting to a network of repeated patterns and vibrational frequency. So we chose the families that we live in by vibrational resonance. So the thing is that we can begin to, let's say we have very traumatic life experiences, we utilize those in order to begin to transmute them, alchemize them into higher vibration understanding, so that we can begin to mobilize the higher faculties of this body and then allow navigation in dimensions, dream time, out of body, and then essentially for death. Okay, but what you're going to discover is that once you identify those patterns in this lifetime, you've experienced them many, many lifetimes. And so the idea is to begin to review those past lives for the process of integration of yourself. When we do that, we are growing our light in many fields, because you're accessing past lives which are simultaneous fragments of yourself. And they are interconnected to your network of ancestors, because we lived those ancestral lives with mother, father, sister, brother, partners. We're kind of cycling through the same kind of patterns. That's what we're experiencing in this construct, this matrix, essentially. So it's important to do that work, because every memory and every simultaneous aspect of yourself is learning. It's a learning opportunity, and it's a growing opportunity. So the more you become aware of yourself in these past lives, the more you're growing in other dimensions, the more you're activating DNA. All of these past lives are ranges of information from your genetic data that you're uncovering, and you uncover them through your ancestral connections and these simultaneous past lives, which are, it's all a network of information. And if we want to change the vibrational resonance in order to experience something outside of this matrix, that would be the process. That's what it means to become enlightened and vibrate at a vibrational frequency that's neutral to this dimension in order for you to experience something else. Okay. But I want to make it very clear that what I'm sharing with you are, it's an architectural structure of the experience of this matrix, but it doesn't mean the matrix is negative or bad. There's a natural balance to the entire collective, and we exist simultaneously in all of them. Okay, so it's up to you. If you wish to experience something outside of this duality, when you're done with this life, then these are the steps to doing that. Otherwise, you will continue to experience duality over and over again. So the invitation is to alchemize these life experiences into a higher vibration, so you're a match for something in a different realm of experience. Okay, I hope that answered that question. Does that answer the question, Timothy?
I think so. I just it's just that ancestral patterns, once you've cleared layers of ancestral patterns, just wondered how that relates to other lives. You say that we've experienced those patterns in other lives.
Exactly.
If you've cleared those, or you are in the process of clearing those patterns, is it necessary really to know, that you were, in what you were doing in a particular other life?
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
if
I
you're
know
not,
what you mean.
if you're not actually visually seeing it, do you follow what I'm saying?
So you're not visually seeing it?
No.
How do you come into the information? How does it
Well,
for you?
I've been using other healing methods, muscle testing, things like that, to clear things. But I've been doing meditations as well. But I just wonder whether one needs to know all those things. That was all.
Knowing is, it's not about knowing. It's so, well, the intention that is more productive is not based on just knowing or becoming identified or applying meaning to those things. It's learning what needs to be learned from those experiences. Okay, so um, first of all, we want to try to train our intuition so that we can have some sort of vision that's easy for us to translate. So definitely, work on your intuition. How do you feel your intuition is?
I feel it's improving. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And I have to say that the meditation we just did, I felt as though I cleared some things then, although I wasn't aware of what they actually were. You know.
Yes. Yes, and so there are two ways of clearing things, right? Like this, what we did today, we often don't realize how powerful it is to come into absolute silence and stillness in that 0 point, but so much can get cleared that way because
Mm.
your frequency is no longer aligning with those stagnant and heavy things that are in your field. So you literally gently release them out. Okay, so that's one way of doing that. You can also energetically work in your field, removing actively these manifestations of thought forms. Um, but there's also another deeper way of doing it, which is through the actual vision or memory of these experiences. And how we reach them and how we work with them is through the emotional body. So what I would invite you is that when you become aware of an aspect of yourself in another timelines, in another lifetime, to notice the main emotions that that part of you was experiencing in that lifetime, or the events that led to certain emotions. And that right there is the key pattern of the vibrational frequency that's limited in that lifetime, that hasn't been expressed. And what you'll find is that that emotion is similar to the emotions that you're holding in your body. The emotion is the reason why you have access to that memory. The emotion is the reason why you have access to that lifetime. We don't access any information that we're not in resonance with. It doesn't matter how deep and dark it is, and it doesn't matter how high it is. It means that we are resonating at that frequency. So, what that allows us to do is it gives us an opportunity for healing. What does it mean to heal? To become whole. We become whole by making conscious the unconscious aspect of yourself in that experience. That's the thing. And what does it mean to become conscious, to become aware? To become aware means that that awareness is going from a contracting energy, which means negative, into a positive, constructive, creative, right? So anytime that we're in a negative cycle of emotions, we are contractive, we're stagnant. But anytime we transmute that into a higher, we become creative. And how do we know what's more productive is that when we are creative, we're healthier, we're able to manifest, and we're able to navigate and implode this vortex life force, alchemize the DNA into a higher functioning frequency. So the idea is to utilize the opportunities of awareness of these simultaneous lives into this alchemization process of higher awareness. We're learning. You're just learning. So, as when you come aware of these experiences, try to see if you identify an emotion, if you get a memory of an event, and work with that. Work through your body because you're going to feel it in your body. Do you feel that you're able to identify some kind of emotion in some of these memories?
Um, Boy, I'm identifying the actual emotions. Yes, yes.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, yeah,
That's it. That's the gold right there. Because
yeah.
in that emotion is imprinted. I mean, if I could show you what that looks like holographically, it's like geometric information, it's DNA, it's resonance information. I mean, there's so much packed into that emotion that is an expression of that genetic construct in that field. Now, all our ancestors, we have lived through our ancestors. So we have been our grandmothers, we have been our great-great-grandfathers, all of our ancestors down our lineage are all the past lives we've had. Okay. And we rotate with the same kind of beings for many lifetimes because we are in resonance with that vibrational frequency, and they're a part of this family, this energetic family.
Hmm.
I hope that answers that, but yeah, please let me know if you have any other questions or if there's anything else I can clarify.
Let somebody else say something
Okay.
if they
Okay.
want to. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have another question? Daughter of Lilith says, please speak to the space between thoughts, breaths, heartbeat, senses, etc. We can clear the patterns by navigating the spaces that are clearly there, like the space between even silence. Yes, and it's kind of like what I spoke about earlier today, that 0 point is actually the point in that silence, in that in-between time, that the entire network of the body becomes interconnected. So it's when the body can create the most powerful. It's when it allows life force to move fluidly through the body. So if we think of it in the physical, that silence, that space between those silent spaces even, those are the most enriching aspects of awareness that we come into. So yes, pay attention to that. Try to come into those as much as possible. Wired Weaver, so you explain things in such a way it's easier to understand the bigger picture. I really appreciate. Thank you so much. Andy says, thank you. What are your thoughts on orgasms? General question. Yeah, so orgasms are the most powerful creative life force that our bodies can emit, right? When we conceive, when we create love with another. Um, but there's different ways to experience that. Some ways that we can experience that can actually be contractive and depleting of your life force, and other ways of utilizing that life force can be very constructive and expansive for your life force. It depends on many things. It depends on the partner, the intention of the union, the way that the union is carried out energetically, and the amount of mastery over the cultivation of your own life force that is being done. Okay. So the more sexual energy that we learn how to transmute and recycle, bring up from the lower into the higher. So we breathe that sexual energy up into the higher, we begin to transmute and instead of deplete the life force. When we practice this a lot, we are transmuting life force in such a way that we are taking lower density into higher. Okay, so that happens in the organs, it happens in the emotional body, in the nervous system, and it activates this pineal gland that is nourished with that creative life force. Because the seed, the sexual energy, is the creative life force that this body is so unique for creating. So when we learn how to use that life force, it can nourish, heal the body, and it activates and strengthens the spiritual system of the body. But there are also ways in which, if the orgasm is created just simply through pleasure, that pleasure is usually layered with different emotions and intentions. Sometimes fear, sometimes need, dependency. You see all of these kinds of intentions that people come into unions and relationships with. If the relationship is not two wholes coming together to create that union and that sexual experience, oftentimes one person will receive more than the other, and there's always these imbalances. Usually an orgasm is called a little death. It's like le petit mort, which means that we die, because the moment that we release that climax, all of our life force is drained out of the body. And so depending on how you manage your life force after the orgasm, you can be completely tired. You want to fall asleep, you want to go to bed. So there are techniques that you can practice to learn how to recycle that life force and utilize it for your spiritual activation and I don't want to say the word ascension, but you're activating your spiritual tools in a way that's really, really powerful. And it'll also help you navigate out of body experiences in a way that's really productive. That's actually the whole point of that. So the orgasm is very powerful. It's important to understand how to utilize that energy. And just to make it short, learn how to alchemize that energy. Don't just deplete it, and focus on becoming whole, so that you can find a partner that is also whole and help utilize these sexual exercises not for pleasure, not for the climax, for the orgasm, but in order to transmute. When both partners transmute that, you can you create vortexes into higher dimensions as a union, and you can both learn how to navigate those dimensions together. So these are ancient practices that are used for a very long time. Like, let's see, silence, Kiora, Taoist sexual energy. Yep. Very good. All right, my love. So let me see. Do we have any questions here in our Zoom? Esteban, Alina, I know where you resistance. I'm not sure if that was a private message. How we know what we should clean from our past lives. I want to clean some emotions, but I don't know how to start. Okay, so follow the emotions. So I usually on a self-love Sunday we do DNA reprogramming, but today we did something a little different. Okay, but if you look at many of my videos that I did about emotional mastery and other challenges that I did, we go deep into deprogramming. And how you do that is you begin to follow the emotion. So simply start with the now. It's really, people always want to think about past lives and other interdimensional aspects, but everything you need to know is right here in your life. And if you're being directed to connect with those past lives, it's because there's something there that is mirroring something that is currently existing in your field that needs to be cleared in this lifetime. And it's funny because some people say, oh, I don't have anything in this lifetime. I'm completely cleared. There's nothing wrong. I never had anything with my childhood or anything like that. Well, it's much deeper than that, because our programs are deeply subconscious. And even our personality is a result of programming. Okay. So what you want to do, and the emotions and the way that you express them. So follow the emotions that come up. Okay. And take those emotions down to the very root, which means that as you feel the emotion, you're going to unpack the layers. Every emotion has information for you. So let's say you feel fear. Be present with that fear. Notice the emotions that begin to come up. The longer you observe the fear, the more information, emotional information will come up. So go down that list of emotions. Notice which one is the strongest. Okay. Follow the strongest. You're going to sit with that next strong emotion. Be present, observe it. What emotions come up from there? You're uncovering another layer of your body, and you're connecting to when we do this, all the parts of ourselves in many dimensions that are resonant with that emotional frequency, they become aware, they become conscious, they open up, they activate. So keep going until you reach the root. And when you read the root emotion, when you reach that root emotion, you're going to notice that you're very familiar with that emotion. You're going to notice, oh, I've been feeling that for a long time. Great. Let's go into those long times. Go into all those memories. Observe what caused that, what programmed. You have a program that allows you to feel that emotion. So you need to understand what that is. Okay. So that's how you deprogram emotions. Once you understand that, you just observe, you're not judging and you're not applying meaning. You're observing yourself in those experiences in order to learn about yourself and why you feel the way you do. The questions that you want to ask yourself is, do you agree with the programs that you received from those experiences? Is that who you are, or is that a learned reaction? Okay. And if that learned reaction is not creative, constructive, and expansive, what do you need to do in order for your reaction to become creative, constructive, and expansive? And that process is super powerful because you are educating yourself. You are rewriting the patterns that you learned with new constructive patterns that are more connected and intuitive to the expansion of yourself. So it's really powerful. So when you do that, you begin to shift neural networks, you are deprogramming. And so this is what you want to do when you access these past lives. Same thing. Okay. Take a look at those circumstances, tune into the emotional patterns. What you're going to recognize is that all our lives we are experiencing, because we're in this three-dimensional plane of duality, we are learning how to navigate fear and love. That's all we're doing. And we're learning how to experience those two in many different ways. And we have endless experiences in this lifetime, in many other simultaneous lives, in this matrix, four-dimensional plane of duality. All of these past lives are an expression of these simultaneous dualistic experiences. Okay. So once you finish that dualistic understanding, you're going to begin to enter into different constructs. You know, people access their ET selves, their higher selves, their 11th dimensional angelic self. And you also have to understand that realm, that understanding. It's all part of the experience. So this is how you can kind of work with that information. Okay. All right, my love. So thank you so much. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah, I typed the question in the Zoom chat, but I
Did
think
you
the last three questions actually answered it.
Oh, awesome. Oh, here is your question. Let me see. I get a lot of contact with interdimensional beings from the astral lost souls to higher plane ETs and even God forms. I get a lot of information from them, and I understand some are my channels of knowledge. From your experience working with this type of templating, what is the best use for this information? I tend to focus on triggers and awareness and alchemy, and I don't really see how knowing what the Dracos are, for example, is important. Right. And also, you see the species that we apply names to, um, that's not really what they are at all. We think that we can conceptualize that into some kind of science with direct information labels, but you cannot, because each one of us is a vessel of perception and experience in these realms with other consciousness. And this is why ET contact is very personal. It's very easy to get distracted in the ET phenomena, because we think of, you know, the lights in the sky, the aircrafts, and we want to be like, who's flying that craft? You know, that's a physical being that we want to know what the race is and all the things that are happening. But that's not the way ET contact or interdimensional contact works. And what I'm sharing with you is the future of this conversation, because we need to understand, when we understand who's flying that craft, how we are interacting and co-creating with it. We participate in the co-creation of these beings based on the activation of our DNA and the access into our dimensions, as you are doing. So that being said, don't focus on the filters and names that mainstream keeps wanting to give these beings. You need to feel through your vibrational frequency and the interaction and your specific agreement for the interaction with these beings. That is essential. Just the way we addressed past lives, okay? The same thing in these interdimensional contact. The being that you're interacting, the angelic form, what's the exchange? What's the experience and the learning that you can get from this interaction? And always coming back to the 0 point, regardless of what we meet, because that will maintain your ability to continue access in these realms, regardless of the name or form that it is. the idea is to become one with everything and to come back to that 0 point in all dimensional levels. That's really what it comes down to. So, yes, focus on the triggers, focus on the awareness, focus on any parts that feel fearful as soon as you interact with these beings. Just continue to observe yourself. It sounds like you got it good. Yeah, so it's not, I mean, we get so caught up in, who are the Dracos, who are these Arcturians, who are the Pleiadians. We cannot conceptualize with our mind. Doesn't matter how hard we try. We need to bring ourselves up to that frequency first. Then maybe we can begin to understand how these beings navigate. And it's not something that's external to us. It's in us. It's in our DNA. So the more that we activate our DNA, the more we can learn how to have these vibrational conversations, which is really what we're having. How do we utilize our future selves, advanced healing and knowledge to heal our current traumas, limitations, and cycles? Okay, so future self, I don't tend to focus on, I think some people focus on creating a future self and focus on that. But actually, and please feel free to clarify that, Ayola, for me, if I don't have that correct. But um, I wouldn't focus on anything that's not in the present moment. We heal and we see, we begin to access truth by being fully in the present moment. Okay, so it's not about looking at future self or who we want to become. You can access higher knowledge by being in the present moment, and you can heal traumas by being fully in the present and observing. Okay, so I would suggest accessing the traumas and working with that in your, if you're in your meditation. Okay, and you will notice yourself in every moment beginning to change, and eventually you'll become this self that you perhaps are trying to idolize as a future self. You become their highest self. That's really what I would focus on, is on embodiment of the highest self. Okay. I was curious because of the past lives conversation, if it works in the same way as future parallel lives. Right. Because we have the belief that it's a linear timeline, and it's absolutely not. It's simultaneous. So future selves, when I've used that term in the past, what I mean is what we think of as advanced beings like ETs that come from advanced civilizations of high intelligence and technology. We think in our very common mind that those are future beings. But what it is higher vibration fractals of ourselves. That's what we're meeting. Okay, so it's all simultaneous: past lives, simultaneous lives, simultaneous selves. We are just accessing fractals of ourselves in the field. Yeah, so I hope that answers that question. Okay. All right, guys, I love you very much. It's 3:00. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next Sunday. Have an incredible week. And remember to love yourself. Love you. Take care. Bye-bye.